My friends, this isn't just a regular alert. This is a calling. A calling for everyone who carries red, blue, and silver in their hearts. A calling for those who understand that being a Patriot is more than just supporting a team. It's about believing, fighting, and never backing down. Buckle up, because the winds blowing from Foxborough are not ordinary winds. They carry the scent of change, the sound of transformation, and the promise that something massive, and I'm not exaggerating, is about to happen. Inside the walls of Gillette Stadium, it feels like a battlefield. The atmosphere is intense. Lights are on 24/7. Phones are buzzing nonstop. Footsteps echo through the halls. And let me tell you, the ground is shaking with the decisions that are about to be made. And right in the center of this chessboard, him, the architect, the mastermind, the man who carries the responsibility of leading this franchise back to the top, Elliot Wolf. He doesn't sleep. He doesn't rest. He's calculating, analyzing, moving pieces like a grandmaster. Every move, every call, every decision could, and I mean could, completely change the future of the New England Patriots. But listen closely, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. The decisions on the table are as risky as they are bold. The stakes are high. The pressure behind the scenes is unreal. And every choice being made right now will decide, without a doubt, if we're truly in the fight for the next Super Bowl. It's all or nothing. Win or win. Now or never. And if you, just like me, believe that this rebuild isn't just a plan, it's a mission, then do me a favor, smash that like button right now. Because anyone who believes in Wolf's work, anyone who believes in this logo, this legacy, knows one thing for sure. The Super Bowl is not a dream. It's our destiny. Drop it in the comments so I know you're riding with me on this mission. Go Pats! We're going to the Super Bowl. Because from this moment on, what I'm about to reveal will completely change the way you see what's really happening behind the scenes in Foxborough. Hold tight, because this is going to blow your mind. Let's go! It's crazy what's brewing in Foxborough right now. The Patriots are cooking something that could flip the entire AFC East upside down. Think about this. An offense that not too long ago was ranked bottom tier in the league is now being whispered about as potentially cracking the top 17. And no, that's not some wild fan optimism. That's based on real, tangible upgrades that this front office pulled off in the offseason. Start with the wide receiver room. The Patriots went out and landed Kyle Williams and, yeah, you heard this right, Stephon Diggs. A move that sent shockwaves across the NFL. Pair that with Drake Maye, who, if, and it's a big if, he stays healthy, could finally be the answer under center that this franchise has been searching for since number 12 walked out those doors. But the real unsung heroes of this potential offensive turnaround? The offensive line. Forget the debates. Forget the question marks about whether Will Campbell should play guard because of his arm length. Mike Vrabel shut that noise down. Campbell is the left tackle. Period. The kid has shown it in rookie minicamp. He's shown it in mandatory minicamp. He's locking down that blind side. On the right side, it's Morgan Moses holding it down. This line looks nothing like the disaster we witnessed a few seasons ago. Trayvon Henderson is another name that Patriots fans better memorize right now. This guy is being groomed to be the next James White. Imagine the reliability and versatility White brought during those Super Bowl runs. That's the role Henderson is stepping into. Now, let's be real, everything hinges on Drake Maye. If he balls out, this offense is going to fly. If he struggles, we could be watching a repeat of the Mac Jones era collapse. But when you look at what Maye brings to the table, the mobility, the ability to extend plays, the way he works through his progressions, it's hard not to get hyped. That said, there's a glaring flaw in his game. Dude doesn't know when to slide. There were moments last year where you'd watch him take hits that made you gasp, thinking this is it. Season over. If he doesn't figure that out fast, everything this team is building could come crashing down. And let's not pretend the Patriots are done. Despite having Diggs, they were actively trying to trade for Rashad Bateman. Read between the lines. If you're calling around for wideouts after landing a player like Diggs, it screams that the front office knows they need more. They're not banking on just one guy to fix it all. What about the backup plan? Josh Dobbs, the pastronaut himself. Not flashy, not going to carry a franchise, but a solid, dependable QB2 who has proven he can step in and win you games in a pinch. Behind him, Ben Waldridge, an undrafted rookie who's got practice squad written all over him. Not ready yet, but someone to keep developing quietly in the background. Then there's the big question on every fan's mind. Will Stephon Diggs actually be ready for week 1? Look, if you've seen the guy's Instagram, if you've watched him at OTAs and minicamp, it's almost surreal. This is a guy who tore his ACL in October and is out there making cuts like nothing happened. Modern medicine is insane, but so is Diggs' work ethic. He said it himself. If it's up to him, he's playing week 1. Doctors might have the final say, but if you're watching what he's doing in camp, it's hard to bet against him. Now, as for who's going to benefit the most lining up alongside Diggs, Don't sleep on Pop Douglas. This guy is thriving in the Josh McDaniels-style offense the Patriots are rolling back to: short routes, quick passes, crossers, screens, the kind of system that made Tom Brady a check-down legend. Expect to see a lot of that with Drake Maye, especially early in the season. And then there's Kayshon Boutte. While Douglas eats underneath, Boutte is going to be the vertical threat, stretching defenses. With teams focusing their attention on Diggs, Boutte is going to have opportunities to blow the top off coverages. But wait, there's another name you better not forget: M. Collins. The buzz around camp is real. Collins is quietly positioning himself as a wild card in this receiver group. Still, the front office knows this room isn't finished. They've been linked heavily to scary Terry McLaurin. And let's be real, folks, who wouldn't want him? Best deep ball catcher in the league. Check the PFF grades, 99.9 on contested deep catches. Line him up opposite Diggs, and good luck to any defensive coordinator trying to stop that. Now, what's the price? A second-round pick might be too steep, but if you can get it done with a third and maybe throw on a player like Jalen Polk or Boutte, pull the trigger. Do it yesterday. Speaking of Polk, bad news. It's looking more and more likely he's headed to the PUP list to start the season. He's barely participated in OTAs or minicamp. Honestly, it might be a blessing in disguise. Stash him on PUP, free up a roster spot, and let a guy like Effin Chisholm sneak onto the final 53. Now let's talk about the biggest hole on this team. Most fans would instantly say left guard, and yeah, that's valid. Cole Strange is entering the final year of his rookie deal after the Patriots declined his fifth-year option. His performance is a massive question mark. Behind him, CDO and Jerod Wilson, who's technically a center but is being cross-trained at all interior spots, of variable demand. And with Wes Schweitzer suddenly retiring, the depth took a big hit. But the real sneaky problem? Cornerback. Sure, Christian Gonzalez is a stud. Carlton Davis is another baller when he's actually on the field. That's the catch. Davis has never played a full NFL season. If he's healthy, great. But if he goes down, things get dicey fast. Marcus Jones could step up at nickel, and there's hope there. But beyond that, it's thin. So what's the move? Look at the market. Jair Alexander just signed with the Ravens for big money, which drives the price down for someone like Asante Samuel Jr. Could the Pats grab him for $3 to $4 million? Maybe. Neck injury concerns are real, but come on, with $60 million in cap space, why wouldn't you roll the dice? Low risk, high reward. And when you zoom out and look at the big picture, this all ties back to Mike Vrabel. This team is buying into his culture fast. Players are saying it out loud. Feels like we have a real coach now. That's a shot at Jerod Mayo, no doubt. Vrabel isn't here to be your friend. He's building a team that's disciplined, hungry, and ready to fight every single Sunday. And here's where it gets wild. Look at the first 8 games of the season. Raiders, Dolphins, Panthers, Bills, Saints, Titans, Browns, Steelers. 6 of those are extremely winnable. If the Patriots come out of that stretch 5-3, suddenly the ceiling for this team skyrockets. Playoffs aren't just a dream, they're an expectation.